Hey everyone, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Riley.
And today we're going to be going over the G Master Mark 1 and the G Master Mark 2 to see if it's worth upgrading. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so Charlie just recently switched over to Sony, so what are your first impressions of that lens?
I think it's a great lens. I love the G Master series with the Sony. I'm interested to see if it's worth upgrading to the Mark 2.
Hold this lens in your hand. What are the initial differences?
This one's definitely lighter and it's shorter.
So what are the specs of these lenses?
So each lens has an aperture range of f2.8 to f22, and it actually has an aperture ring, which the Mark 1 does not have.
When do you think Sony is going to adapt in-lens zooming? It's like a technical term for that. Tamron does that.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you zoom it in and out, the lens doesn't change size. Internal zoom.
I think, yeah, internal zoom. I think that's a feature they definitely need to get a hold of.
Because if you're filming on a gimbal,
exactly,
and you want to, you know,
the balance is going to be thrown off if you have that.
In the G Master 24-70 Mark II lens, they moved most of the weight to the back of the lens to get a more stabilized feel when shooting handheld, and I think a lot of videos are going to be going handheld in the next 2 years. And the reason I do like that is because I think it'll give you obviously a more balanced feel when you're shooting on a gimbal as well. I mean, this lens is very front heavy. I mean, it's pretty similar the whole way, and it's just, I mean, it's just heavy.
Yeah,
so this lens is going to be super good for, I mean, if you're filming handheld, I mean, it's not going to be as heavy.
Yeah.
Your arms are going to get as tired.
Yeah, exactly.
And also that weight in the back, I have noticed a difference. It just feels a lot more solid.
So on the, whoops.
Charlie's breaking it.
Cut.
So we actually don't use the Mark 1 anymore because Charlie fucked it up.
So on the G Master Mark 1, it actually has 9 aperture blades, and when you upgrade to the Mark 2, they actually have 11 aperture blades now. So if that's a deciding factor for you, get the Mark 2.
If you have more blades, I feel like it might give you a smoother bokeh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
so you guys gotta look.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Any
Put in the comment
filmmakers
section
out there,
down
because
below.
I've been doing this for 4 years, but I'm a novice still.
Yeah. So we also see an improvement in autofocus on the Mark II because of the new 4XD linear motors, as opposed to the direct drive motors in Mark 1.
So one thing that I really love about Tamron lenses is that the focus wheel is actually behind the zoom wheel, which is kind of nice when you're shooting handheld. It's, you know, you don't have to extend your arms much to get it. I mean, it's not a big difference, but I do like that. However, what Sony does really well with the G Masters is focus and zoom rings are smooth. I mean, this doesn't have much resistance when I'm zooming it here. However, if you want to do something and you're shooting handheld and maybe you don't have a rack focus motor or a zoom motor, you can do tight and it'll be more like a fluid motion, like a fluid tripod head, stuff like that. So I love that they incorporated a choice of, all right, do I want it stiff and smooth, or do I want it easy and movable? Because when you're doing micro content or content that needs to engage people, the fast zooms I use quite often actually. And it's nice that the G Master Mark II offers a easy zoom feel. And not to mention the iris ring down here, which is a new addition to the G Master Mark II. And you can actually do an iris lock here on the auto setting.
So subject tracking has improved a lot, upgrading to the Mark II version as you zoom in compared to the Mark 1. So manual focus on the Mark II has a linear response compared to the Mark 1 that didn't have that in the first place.
So now we're gonna do a side-by-side comparison running on the A7 IV with each of the lenses. So let's take a look. So initially I notice how the Mark II is a lot sharper. I can tell mostly in my face area and kind of on my shirt. As I start to move back, you can notice that the Mark I struggles to continue tracking me. And as I continue to move back, the Mark II stays focused the whole time. And I need to work on my running form. And as I pull back here, the Mark I struggles to rack focus again as the Mark II snaps right back to focus. In my opinion, I do think it's worth it to upgrade, as the Mark I did come out in 2016, and this lens was released just this year.
Also, with just a $400 or $500 difference, I do believe it's worth it to upgrade to that Mark II as well.
And like we said in the video, with the internal zoom motors and the linear manual focus, they made some large technological advances in just 6 years.
Also, like we said, the fact that the Mark II is much lighter and shorter, you are going to want to do anything you can to make your setup lighter with your camera body.
Especially if you're shooting handheld. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys in the next one.